If no one remembers you after you die, did your life have meaning? It's kind of floating around in my head. I watched an interview with Mike Tyson, and he blatantly said, "No, I don't care what people think of me after I die. I don't care what kind of legacy I have. And it's definitely. I was thinking about that, and like, I think it's the right way to have, the right mindset to have, is because we're so worried nowadays about what people think of us. There's like this need for validation and a fear of obscurity now, and we need to understand that the only way we're going to be happy is through our own, you know, view of ourselves, not someone else's. And because we can't promise that we will ever become rich and famous, and even if you are famous, most people aren't even, they're famous for the time that they're on here, and then as soon as they die, the world moves on to the next person. So, you know, what are your motivations? Like, are you trying to build a legacy, and uh, how can you influence the view of someone else on your legacy? It's just, so what's the point of it all? What's the point of your life if you may be forgotten the day after you die? Well, I mean, does that mean you had no meaning? You were essentially useless almost? I don't think so. I believe everyone is here for a reason. Whether or not we understand that reason is different, but we all must accept there is a reason. I don't believe in coincidences. It's just something I just have a hard time with. Like going back to Mike Tyson, he said that, because people are going to remember him as one of the greatest boxers ever. And like, yeah, I know there are some doubts, but the whole Logan Paul, Jake Paul, whoever he boxed, I can't tell the brothers apart. And there was a script, and so that definitely threw some shade and doubt. But his earlier fights, I mean, you could see the talent, you could hear the impacts he was throwing, and through that, he wasn't motivated in trying to become a legend or something. He wasn't trying to like have people remember him as the greatest boxer. He set out to be the greatest boxer. He set out to be the best he could be, and that is important. That is how people achieve fame and legend status. Just like Beethoven. Beethoven's a great example. He didn't set out to become the greatest composer of all time. He just loved music. He went and became a composer because that's what he wanted to do. Ernest Hemingway, Stephen King, Tolkien, like all these guys, they weren't setting out to write the greatest book ever. These are people who then went, I'm going to be a writer. And then they wanted to do and be the best writer they could be. And through their actions of trying to become the best they could be, the best writer, Tolkien could be, the best, boxer Tyson could be, that is how they achieved their legacy. That is how they achieved their legend, And through that, I feel that is where you can kind of derive the meaning of their life in a way. But just because someone doesn't remember you or what you did doesn't mean that your efforts didn't impact someone. An example here, me and my channel. So my channel is very, very small, and that's okay. I mean, I didn't really start this. Truthfully, this is a philosophy channel. It's never going to be big. I was stoked when I even got more than 10 followers. The fact that I even got more than that, fantastic, And so I was like, maybe, I'm just appreciative everyone is here. But what keeps me going is not only the desire to create and just kind of share what information I may have, what helped me through, but also I've gotten a couple comments on my videos and my Twitter or X feed or whatever, and that really it was just simple, like one or two comments I've gotten, and on videos, and some of them really kind of impacted me in a way, saying like, hey, I really enjoyed this video, and one person commented like saying, hey, this really changed my perspective, and thank you. I I didn't anticipate that. I didn't anticipate any kind of feedback, honestly. Especially in this kind of channel, most people I feel like would click it and then just move on. But this this has meaning to me, and like I said, you guys may never see me or my channel again, but I will feel like it had meaning because I was able to at least help one person, and that one person then may go on and help someone else, and I'm part of that chain of goodness, and that is how you build, great societies and great legends, is by just simply being pure, and pure as in like pure intentions, pure in your motivations. Like, go out and, like, if you're going to write a book, don't worry about how many you're going to sell. Don't worry about what people are going to think. Just write the best book you can write, because you will never understand the measure of impact your life will actually have. I mean, Martin Luther King, Beethoven, Gandhi, I mean, Helen Keller, like Joan of Arc. These people they set out to do something. They didn't set out to become a legend. They didn't set out to be remembered. Oftentimes you will hear about that, but a lot of times the people who set out to be remembered usually aren't remembered in the way they want to be. So let's also keep that in mind. The worst thing the devil can ever do is give you what you want. So, I mean, yeah. So I feel like no matter who remembers you, your life will have meaning. But you get to define what that meaning is through your choices, through your actions. Now, if you're a good neighbor, then your neighbors will always be happy. I mean, like, I live in an apartment complex, and I had this one neighbor. She moved, but she is very sorely missed by the entire community, because she was just very pleasant and very nice to be around. She always was, hey everybody, how are you? And just great. And just by her being a decent person and just being pleasant, she built up her own legacy in this apartment complex of just one of the better neighbors. And so, we threw her a little, going away present or party or whatnot, just a get together, just to, honor her memory, honor her legacy in which she built through her pure actions. So, yeah. So no matter what, no matter who may remember you, your life has meaning. All right? And the measure of your impact, the measure of your life will never truly be measured. All right, guys, take it easy.